Amazon's The Lord of the Rings of Power on Amazon Prime Video is out, and if possible, it's worse than the first 2 episodes that came out a week ago. Those first 2 episodes, which resulted in a week's worth of backlash for Amazon, to the point where they had all these mainstream media outlets running defense for them, where they came out with statements labeling fans racist if you don't like this series. And of course, when they manipulated reviews, not only on Amazon-owned IMDb, but of course wouldn't even allow reviews to be shown on their own website. That's how badly the reaction to Rings of Power has been. And we do have an update on that, because even though Amazon said, we're gonna wait 72 hours to filter out the trolls, they didn't wait 72 hours. It was nothing on day 4, nothing on day 5. It wasn't until over a week after this happened, in the middle of the night last night, that finally we get some reviews for Rings of Power. And look at this. Now, this is in the United States. It's different in the UK. I'll show you what it looks like in the UK. Look at this. 5 stars with 2 approved reviews for Rings of Power. Seems normal, right? Seems pretty normal, with it being number 1 in the United States right now. They would have 2 5-star reviews. Now, of course, if we scroll down a little bit here, we can see it's much more than just 2 5-star reviews. Right now, I think they're showing something like 44 reviews, which is still laughable. It's laughable because these are going all the way back to September 2nd, September 5th. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of reviews out there for this thing, but they are so carefully controlling and manipulating this to try to manage the backlash, to do the damage control. It's so fucking disingenuous. But here you go, 1 star. This guy just says 1 star. That's it. That's his only review. Really wanted to like this. Now here's a very long, dedicated review about how it's 2 stars and bad. Here's 1 star. Terrible. Stick with the old movies. Really good so far for 5 stars. 5 stars, great show. I think it's good. Now, here's the thing. You are going to have these 1-star reviews that are not very detailed. You're also going to have these 5-star reviews that are not very detailed. That's kind of how this works. But before we do dig too much into these reviews, and I want to go to the UK too, because the UK reviews look funny as well, because of course Amazon is lying and manipulating everything. I wanted to really quick talk about a little bit about my feelings about episode 3. The best way to describe this series is boring. And that is one of the biggest problems it has. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to do with, oh, well, is there a big battle in this? Or is there going to be a ton of fighting? Because look, in House of the Dragon, you've had portions of that which have not been action-packed at all. Now, of course, you had a big battle scene to end episode 3 of House of the Dragon last week. But in general, you're kind of on the edge of your seat when you're listening to the dialogue in House of the Dragon, because you really are interested and you're bought into these characters and finding out how things play out, how things work out. That's just not the same way in Rings of Power. You have dialogue that is unnecessary, that they think it's supposed to be some kind of wisdom or pseudo-intellectual bullshit, but it's really not. Sometimes you have repeated lines of dialogue for no reason other than to continue to boost the runtime. I'm not sure. But you did have Galadriel, and I will say, Galadriel going to Numenor, it never fucking happened. That is not Tolkien. That is not in Middle-earth history. It is a lie. It's a farce. It never happened. However, the entrance that Galadriel and Halbrand have to Numenor after being picked up by Elendil, that is the highlight of the episode for me. I do feel the effects and the CGI and the scale of everything, with the exception of Khazad-dûm, has been a little bit lackluster. The entry to Numenor, I thought that it did a really good job of showing like the grand, incredible scope and scale of Numenor. I think the music matched when they came in there. I think that that was done well. Unfortunately for Rings of Power, everything else in the show was not. Galadriel, once again, is just the most unlikable bitch you could possibly imagine. Immediately upon entrance to Numenor, she asked to see the manager. Now, there's this scene, the one smile we've seen from Galadriel so far was slow motion on horseback, and I think it looked a little creepy because they wanted to show, look, if she's on a horse, she could be happy. I don't know if it had exactly the effect they wanted. We did get introduced to Elendil, who I do think is an interesting character. Now his 2 kids, Isildur and the made-up daughter that doesn't actually exist, another made-up person that they're trying to insert into this story. You do get introduced to them. You also see Miriel. And this is one of the big problems I think a lot of people, a lot of Tolkien fans should have. She is Queen Regent. She is ruling Numenor right now. This never happened. Now, Mira should have been the ruler, absolutely should have been the queen, until Pharazôn came and forced her to marry him and became the last actual king of Numenor. Not to say queens never ruled Numenor, they certainly did. I believe it's 22 kings and 3 queens through the history of Numenor's like rulership. They're the people who are leading them. So certainly could have been Muriel, but it wasn't. She was never this type of ruler making all these fucking decisions. It didn't happen. But again, this is not Tolkien. This is fake bullshit. Her and Galadriel have this like back and forth where it's like, who can be a bigger bitch? Of course, we're going to see more of her in the next episode. But like Nerdrotic says, he sums it up pretty well. Rings of Power is poorly produced content with no heart, filled with repurposed scenes and dialogue. It gets worse when they make up their own, the antithesis of Tolkien. The Galadriel, Scourge of the Orcs. Of course, Galadriel has a big reputation for being such a great warrior. And she even gave this whole like, I am Galadriel, and did a whole like Daenerys Targaryen list of her titles. It was cringe. It was laughable. I should point out, apart from Numenor, the other little bit that you saw in this episode was focused on Arondir, who got captured and put in chains along with several other elves. Orcs were imprisoning and make them dig these tunnels. That's what was going on in the Southlands. And we got introduced barely to this mysterious Adar, right? You heard the name Adar whisper around, oh, the orcs are loyal to Adar. And Arondir and the elves try to escape. It doesn't go very well, but you get a lot of slow motion sequences of Arondir acting like a badass. But then at the very end, he does get captured again, and they bring out Adar, who they're trying to make you feel like it's Sauron. That's what they're trying to do with this character, make you think that, oh, this is Sauron in another name. That's not it. We all know that Halbrand is actually Sauron. And then when it comes to the Harfoots, they're getting ready to leave. For some reason, the Harfoots just leave people behind and let them fucking die if they can't keep up with them when they migrate. It's really weird. The Harfoots, once again, are one of the worst things about this entire series because they tried to recapture some of the magic of the Hobbits and why people like the Hobbits, but they're completely and totally cringe and unlikable. It's really weird, and they're dirty and nasty and weird. I do not understand why they decided to go this direction, but it looks like fake Gandalf is going to try to help the what are their freaking names? They're Brandyfoots. Fake Gandalf's going to try to help the Brandyfoots keep up with the rest of the Harfoots. So very well could be worse than those first 2 episodes that we saw. But when it comes to the actual reviews that Amazon is now kind of showing, right? 2 5-star reviews in the United States. What about if we go to the UK? There's some interesting stuff coming out of the UK. Mr. Robot tagged me in this. I saw Az from Heel vs. Babyface talking about this as well. But now we have screenshots. In the UK, it's 3 out of 5 stars. But again, there's really weird shit going on with the reviews. When you look at this, you see 1,942 global ratings. Well, just a little bit after that, that went down significantly to 1,893. And then just a little bit after that, it went down to 1,881, 1,869. Like, they are clearly manipulating all these reviews. That's not even a question at this point. Not only are they manipulating, removing things when they want to, but also they won't even approve your review in some cases. A viewer of mine named Ryan, not me, sent this to me. This was his review, 1 star, not Tolkien. Lame. A shame they can't just keep content original these days. Go woke, go broke. Thank you for submitting a customer review. It appears your review had inappropriate content. Please tell me what is inappropriate about that. It's not like he swore. It's not like he said anything like that. Lame. A shame they can't keep content original. Go woke, go broke. No, Amazon rejects that. This is what they are doing. They are trying to hide from any and all criticism. When you do look at these things that have come out from Amazon in the past, look here, Jack Ryan, 4.5 stars. The Terminal List, 4.5 stars. The Boys, 4 stars. All these things that are bona fide, a lot of people like these things on Amazon. Jack Ryan came out several years ago. Something like Wheel of Time is sitting at 3 stars, which was lambasted by so many people, which was despised by fans of the book series. It looks like we may end up with a cultivated Amazon rating of something similar to what we had for Wheel of Time. And if so, that is going to be a disaster. You can go and see, like if you go in the back end of these 2 reviews, because you have all these sitting here. According to Amazon, there's 2 ratings, but 55 of them have reviews because, again, they haven't quite figured out how to cheat the right way. That's basically what we're talking about with Amazon. They haven't figured out how they're supposed to cheat without letting anybody figure it out. So right now they're flailing through this process. A lot of 1-star reviews, but a lot of 5-star reviews that tell you absolutely nothing. Like, look at this. Magnificent fantasy. The amount of artistry in every aspect is superb. Fantastically done. Is that a cohesive review that Amazon approves and puts out there? Potentially. It could certainly potentially be that. Look at this. Visually breathtaking and gripping dialogue. Excited for the next episode. That's that 5-star review. These totally genuine 5-star reviews that people are talking about. This is a disaster. Episode 3 is probably worse than the first 2 episodes, and its biggest sin of all, I think, in capturing the normies is the fact that it's boring. It really is tough to get through. It's tough to stay awake for. People are not interested in this series, certainly not as much as they are in other things that are going on right now. And that is not good news for Amazon when they've invested $1 billion into this dumpster fire. Let me know what you think about episode 3, about the reviews coming out, everything. Let me know in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.